It's monsoon season, but it's raining coupes in India. Before the much anticipated Tata Curve, Citroen decided to drop a big shocker with this Citroen Basalt, which has been decently anticipated. Let's take a quick tour of the car. Without a doubt, this has to be the smartest looking car from this French manufacturer in India. You have the superb double chevron logo here, and there is this DRLs which converge into the grille. Nice LED headlamps. Finally, a big shout out to Citroen for moving away from the traditional halogens and dropping in the LEDs, which has also been incorporated to their other cars like this C3 Turbo, etc. And then you have this nice grille here. Typical French design elements, lot of quirks in the design as well, and there is this nice kit plate. Overall, this car, especially in this particular red color, looks pretty decent and nice. The same quirky design has been carried out at the sides as well, with these alloys which looked unconventional. Nice black and silver finish on the alloys. ORVMs with turn indicators. Where is a 360-degree camera? No 360-degree camera because it is not there in this car. And I really wish to see that day where Citroen will go away from this flap type old school door handles, which are like too not relevant for 2024. And then moving slightly behind, this is where the main attraction of this Basalt Coupe lies, and this is my personal favorite design. With this bulged out tail lamps here, you have coupe like design with the shark fin antenna placed right there. And of course, this being a coupe, you will see that the rear overhang is very limited. So the Basalt comes in various engine and gearbox options, which you can see on the screen here. This one right here is a 1.2 liter turbocharged petrol engine that produces 110 bhp and 190 Nm of torque. Citroen also claims that the 0 to 100 is just within 10 seconds, which we are going to test out and find. But please pick the turbocharged over the NA because NA is slightly lethargic, and this is far better suited to modern day driving conditions. So the ground clearance of the car is 180 millimeters. Just for your reference, this is the same ground clearance which the first gen Mahindra Scorpio got. But that said, there was one particular place on the way where the car actually hit the base. But in 95% of your driving conditions, this should be fine. इससे ज़्यादा कर देंगे तो then there will be an issue in terms of how the car is going to handle the driving dynamics, etc. That's why it's just fair enough. Moving backwards, one thing you will definitely appreciate in this car is you have a massive 470 liters of boot space to actually accommodate half of Goa inside this. No electrically closable boot, which the Tata Curve is definitely going to get. I think this is where Citroen might take a hit in terms of features. But you have this Basalt badging here, a couple of rear parking sensors with reverse camera. The clarity of reverse camera is not exactly very nice, but it's just decent. I really wish Citroen had a better clarity reverse camera placed into this car, which would have made a lot more sense for 2024. Once you step inside, the first thing that you realize is the interiors are slightly a step up compared to the other Citroen cars which are sold in India, apart from the Fair Cross, of course. You have this new digital instrument cluster, unlike the earlier C3, and this is a flat bottom steering wheel. Thankfully, you have the leather contour here, which feels a lot more premium than the other C3 car. Sadly, you miss out on the start stop button. You'll have to just use the conventional key, which is a little downside considering 2024. Your 10.25-inch infotainment system, everything that you can think of, including connected car, is there in this, enabled. And the coolest part is to get wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay in the car. No auto dimming IRVM, just most of the Citroen cars sold in India. You have the 6-speed manual gearbox. This car is also paired to an automatic gearbox. You have the manual handbrake here, no electric, that is not even expected. You have a USB charger here. No Type-C charger by default. However, there is a 12-volt socket. You'll have to use it like this and then use the converter. This is the wireless charging pad that is kept here. A couple of cup holders. Overall, the cabin feels good, not bad at all. I feel that the slightly better plastic quality would be great. You have this climate control options here, and Citroen claims that the AC of this car is very powerful. But if you love sunroofs, you'll be disappointed because this car does not get a sunroof at all. You get French leather seats. In fact, the seats are very comfortable, and you also notice that there's a partial fabric treatment to the seats here. Moving to the rear of the car, first thing you realize is the legroom is actually very good. The headroom is pretty decent considering that this is a coupe design. It's ambitious and nice. You have rear AC vents, a couple of USB chargers there, no Type-C charger or wireless charger at the rear. You have this rear center armrest with a couple of cup holders here, and there's a dedicated place to store your phone like this, which is kind of impressive. And you just get 2 headrests here, and you do not get this third headrest here. Citroen claims that the 0 to 100 for this Basalt is just under 10 seconds for the turbo petrol one. And the acceleration is pretty quick. You will definitely realize that. Speaking of NVH levels, Citroen has strongly said that the NVH levels on this car are very well controlled, and actually they are translated in the driving dynamics. But when you drive the car, you will realize that the only noise that is coming here is from these tires here. Uske alawa, the NVH levels are really nice. And speaking of the steering, this is an electric power steering. It's not a steering which you would kind of love to drive. Not that point it here and the car goes there. Not as nice as the one in C5 Aircross, which is one of my personal favorite cars. But that said, yeah, this does the job. It's pretty light when you want to park the car in the tight parking spaces, and as you gain speeds, it weighs up, but it does not weigh up very well, is what the thing is. And speaking of gear shifts, this one is a 6-speed manual gearbox, and the gearbox is nice. Citroen has this good 6-speed manual gearbox, and should appreciate the fact that in spite of this being a 1.2 liter engine, Citroen gave 6-speed gearbox even for the normal C3 as well as this, which is kind of nice because the 6th over drive gear helps when the car is cruising on highways. The car is going to be less stressed, which is again a big thumbs up. Never saying no to 6 gears in a car. And this is the horn of the car. Horn pad feels little flimsy. Again, coming back to the gear shifts, the throw of the gears is short and nice. The travel of the clutch also is just adequate, how much ever you want. It's not very long as you see in Mahindra petrol cars, but it's not as nice and crisp as the Maruti cars. It's in between, but definitely does the job. No problem at all in terms of gear shifts there. And the driver's visibility from the driver's seat is also nice. I can see both the edges of the bonnet here, which will help you in judging the car in tight parking spaces. And I'm driving the engine completely, and it's around 3500 rpm and above when the engine starts to get pretty vocal, and you can definitely hear the engine noise coming inside after that rpm. Until then, it is sorted, no problem there. Speaking of the overall braking, the car is powered by 2 disc brakes in the front and drum brakes at the rear. The braking is decent, it's adequate, but it's not like super sharp or something, so you will have to exercise slight caution when braking the car. So that's about it from the driving dynamics of this Citroen Basalt. So speaking of the overall impressions of this Citroen Basalt, I think the car has definitely improved compared to other Citroen cars in the form of having new LED headlamps, and of course this nice lovely new coupe-like design. But that said, Citroen should have definitely taken this opportunity to address some low-hanging issues with the car. For example, you still get the key, you do not get start-stop button, you do not get auto-dimming IRVM, you do not get sunroof, which are kind of mainstream today in this era, in this competitive segment. So if you like the video, do not forget to subscribe to our channel and follow us on Instagram. Take care, drive safe, see you soon in another special video.